Hello and welcome back to the Squeaky Bum Time podcast. It is Thursday, February 25th in the evening on the West Coast in California. In this episode, we will casually review the midweek European football, go through this week's match week fixtures, whatever weeks, fix weeks, whatever, and wonder where the fuck has this season gone? It feels interminable and over. But I don't know. But first, Mike, it is a big week of matches. West Ham versus City, Leicester versus Arsenal, Chelsea versus Man United. Which one has you more interested? Or are you going to watch the Mourinho versus the Ginger Mourinho Bowl in Burnley versus Spurs?
I'm going to watch marble racing.
Oh, it's pretty good, I hear.
Yeah, no, listen, first of all, I disagree. This season feels like it's gone on for 3 fucking years. I almost feel like last season hasn't ended. It's all bad. But I would say of those 3 matches, definitely United Chelsea. I despise Chelsea and I want to see them fall further. And I actually want to see United stake their claim as a top 4 team.
You don't have United hate.
No, I don't. Why would I? Right? I'm the only big-ish club fan of a big club that I don't fucking care. You stay over there, I'll stay over here. We have nothing in common. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
Oh, that's weird. I hate that.
Yeah. No,
well, it is good. It's my city rival. Well, right, exactly. My fake city rival.
And the same way that I want you to pound Chelsea into a fine powder. And I would love to see that. Not you, United.
Now, I wonder. So Leicester versus Arsenal should be good, but it's not because Arsenal are not good. And Leicester are weird. I don't know what to do with them. But West Ham versus City, I would imagine at this point you want West Ham to lose. Don't you want to win London?
No, I don't give a shit about that. The only thing I care about is beating Arsenal, to be quite honest, from a Tottenham perspective.
Yeah, that'll make the season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think Leicester today in the Europa League lost.
On purpose.
I think they punched. I think they lost on purpose. Yes, exactly. I think they punched their ticket to the Champions League by losing an avenue to the Champions League.
Yeah. Now, because I don't think the thing that's weird is they're better than all the other teams, but they're not like a big game team. So they can win by winning versus winning by we're going to fucking shit house these games until we get the result and we don't care. I have a theory, and I wonder if football playing teams, your down on the deck fancy teams, are better over longer seasons because you get results more often, but shithousey teams are better in cups because they have to grind. And the great teams in Europe are the teams that they play during their domestic seasons and then go shithousery in the domestic cups.
I think they
can do both.
Yeah, there's some theory to that. I think that the really, really great teams, the Real Madrids, when they had the 3 in a row, they were running away with everything so much that they honestly didn't give that much of a shit about the other competitions.
Never won the leagues.
But that's the point, is that they were never there. They were close enough to we're going to just go win the bigger trophy. And in those weeks, they were like, Salerno, Cortines, get in there. We don't give a shit about this one, right?
Yeah,
so they're like, Gareth Bale, you're not going to play 2 games in a week. Guess which one you are playing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there is some theory to that, right? It's the March Madness theory. I've actually begun my seasonal basketball fandom. I started.
Oh, you're like a salmon?
Yes. No, college, right? So I watched Michigan's insane this year. So they just beat Ohio State, and I'll watch them beat Ohio State in anything. So they're insanely good. They've lost 1 game the whole year.
Speaking of teams that have only lost one game, Scotland Rangers win 9-5 on aggregate. They're undefeated. They have an 18-point lead in Scotland, and the bagpipes are playing for Stevie G and Rangers. Now, you and I, both being of Catholic descent, we should hate Rangers.
I do.
And naturally, Celtic should be our team because it's really sectarian, really sectarian.
Oh, yeah.
That's bombing songs and want to kill each other.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's one of the life dreams to go to that or be in Edinburgh.
I don't know. I'm torn on that. As much as the chaotic maniac in me goes, oh man, that'd be fucking awesome.
It's actually scary.
It's terrifying. You're like, really? Do you want to fucking die there? Really?
Well, you went to the San Siro and you said it was crazy just in a regular game.
Yeah, well, that was a Champions League group stage game. It wasn't huge, but yeah, exactly. The way they treat the away fans is like your fucking cattle. It was awesome. But like,
I actually don't think they do away fans for those. Like it's,
no, that makes sense. It's 100% and then 100%. Like, don't even let them in. Yeah. All right, then in that case, I would go.
Yeah.
Right. Like, absolutely.
So what we're talking about is Rangers, the biggest. Well, it's a 2-team league in Scotland between Rangers and Celtic. It's called the Firm, and they've won the league basically forever, except for Aberdeen in the 80s with Sir Alex Ferguson. But Stevie G's breaking the lock. Celtic had won the league 9 or 10 years in a row, and now finally, after going bankrupt and having to rename their team, Rangers are back, and Steve Gerrard of Liverpool fame has them really running hard. He took over the team. He took over management the same year that Frank Lampard did, but he did 3 years with the same club, building it. You know, the first couple of years were tough. He was second, of course, because it's Scotland. But, you know, he had beaten Celtic, and now he's got the team, you know, they're just annihilating Scotland. And they're playing fun football, like 9-5 on aggregate against Willem S., the king of Scotland, or whatever the fuck these names of these weird Europa.
No, it was Royal Antwerp. It was the team that beat Spurs in the group stage.
So Royal Antwerp, the other, of course, because we all know who these teams are. But, you know, it was fun. And Gerrard is a fun manager because he gets fired up. And he yells at the sidelines, and his hair is perfect. So that's how we'll start Europe. Rangers advance 9-5. But let's talk about our friends from the Premier League in Europe this week. City beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. Not an event. City just never got out of second gear.
But wait, so that's the first leg, correct? Or is that the second leg?
That's the first leg.
That was the first leg. So the important distinction we need to have here is
right. It's
that
2 legs.
So well, yeah, it's 2 legs, but the Europa League, because they have more or less the third place teams from Champions League drop down, they effectively have 8 more teams.
Yes,
so
they're a round ahead, but they're catching up.
So it's the round of 32 technically.
They're completing the round of 32. Yes.
Right. So they've got 2 extra games. So effectively, what you're hearing now is the round of 32 in Europa League, which
completed.
To put another tie into March Madness is the NIT.
Yeah.
That's they're completing that extra round. So right now, tomorrow, the Europa League round of 16 draw will happen.
Correct.
By the time they're pretty much done with that, the Champions League will be done with their round of 16.
Correct.
Or roughly in a day or 2.
Correct. And they usually finish.
Then they'll be on the same schedule.
Yeah. So nice recap there. City beat Gladbach, no problem. City barely getting out of second gear, scoring 2 games in a row where someone under 5'7" and under has scored a header. This time Cancelo Coacher, as we're calling this version of City, is scoring goals for fun.
I like that.
A couple more crosses. It's been brewing in the City realms, but now it's expanding out to Cancelo Culture.
Chelsea,
they've won 19
Chelsea
in a row. And
keep going.
The record is, I think, 26 by Ajax, or 24. So we'll see if
the
wins
record
in a row
for any domestic
team. Yeah, a big team, a pro.
Well, it's not domestic's the wrong word. Any team in all competitions.
Yes, 26.
Interesting.
That'd be a cool record.
That would be a cool record. Is that Cruyff's
the thing that's weird is
Ajax?
That's Cruyff's Ajax. They don't feel as good, but it is a weird trend. And if you look at the history of tactics in soccer, it's started with 4 forwards, went down to 3, went down to 2, went down to 1. And now City is the team that is now playing with no forwards. So It is the ultimate dream of Pep to play with no forwards. He's been wanting to do this for years. So he's like, Aguero, fuck that guy.
I must have said this before on the show, but like, they're just so economical and smart, but they don't. I mean, they do have stars in their team, obviously, but they don't have a superstar. They remind me of the '98 Yankees. They're just like, we are a machine and we're going to beat you. We're actually not sure how today.
It doesn't. I mean, I guess the star of the team is De Bruyne, but he doesn't even play. Like, he's been hurt. But there's no icon. There's no Messi. Right. There's no Ronaldo. There's not even a Neymar. There's not even a a Pogba, there's Zlatan's, there's no personality. And that's one of the problems with the team is Pep is the personality of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Zlatan, when he played at Barca, did not go well. And that's why Messi was such a great coach for him, because Messi is a zero personality guy. I guarantee you that Ronaldo with Pep would not have worked, because Pep would have been like, why are you shooting? And why aren't you pressing people? And he would have kicked him off the team because he didn't press. He'd be like, no, you're not. What are you, crazy?
And then Ronaldo would have taken his shirt off and protested. It would have been a whole thing.
So United, who did drop down into Europa, because as we remember, they got booted by Leipzig. And they take out my friend David Silva's Real Sociedad. Really no problem.
Yeah.
4-0. They're through. They go on to the next week. Chelsea with the big win.
Yeah.
And we'll highlight a little bit of a trend. Chelsea beat Atleti 1-0 in Bucharest. Weird that Atleti don't really have a home leg because of COVID. It's all very strange. It's really unfair to Atleti, to be fair. But
that
Atleti
still
are
counts
the best.
As an away goal, right?
It does count as an away goal.
What a shit show.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So it looks like Simeone went for the 0-0, which is disgusting. They could beat them, but it was gross. Like, it was Atleti played like fucking Crystal Palace. Yeah. That's the best team in fucking Spain. Come on, man. And the bigger thing is Giroud, the most handsome man who's ever lived. I love him. I didn't realize how tall he is. 6'4" is tall for Europe.
Yeah, he's a problem.
He's big. He did a bicycle kick on what looked like an offside goal, but the defender had touched it. Took 4 minutes to check this thing. I can't with VAR. But thank God, otherwise Chelsea would have lost or had nothing. That was cool. They go into the week feeling good about themselves. Tuchel gets his just quick anecdote. Hudson-Odoi did play, so after having the controversy of him getting subbed off, they're still fine. So I think Tuchel was just trying to use him as a cudgel to say, hey, don't fuck around. I'll kick your ass. Liverpool, we know, are through. They're still on a 4-game losing streak, and I'm just going to remind Liverpool fans, I know you're injured. I know it's been a tough year. Fuck you. Arsenal played their game of the season, really, saving their season, beating a name brand team. Benfica, Portugal's the name brand league. Benfica
with my favorite center back, Jan Vertonghen. I was hoping that he would help pull through and knock Arsenal out, but no, it wasn't in the cards. They had basically a store brand Ajax moment today.
Yeah.
They were down. What was it? Was 2-0 on aggregate, I believe. Shortly.
They were down a goal, I think, Arsenal.
I thought it was 2. You know what? It was a goal, but they needed 2 because of the away goals. So they basically needed 2. And they got it in the 87th minute with that man Aubameyang finally, having that moment. big moment, right?
Yeah, but with them, it's all Saka. I mean, Saka's what drives that team. When Tierney and Saka are playing, they have the creativity to get things done. I don't know how much you've watched Kieran Tierney. That dude is a real live fullback who's awesome. And if he has to play Rangers, I know we've been talking about Rangers as like potential matchups. If he has to play Rangers, Celtic. He's like, I don't want to play because he's Celtic. He's going to be kill them. So that's good.
He's going to
they win 4-3. They win 4-3 on aggregate. Let's still remind them, they have 11 losses. They're 10-11 in the league. Just keep that in mind. Leicester exit Europe, like we said. The Braj, I think he was kind of like, I think I'm good. Let's go. But they moved to Slava Prague. That is not a name brand team. The cool part about this, Slava Prague celebrate like there's no business. The Premier League is the biggest team in the league. It's just if it's big in the US, it's big in the Czech Republic. It's big everywhere. It makes a difference. And on the field, on FaceTime, Hook shows up with his teammates being held up, but Thomas Suchek celebrating with his former teammates from Slava Prague. They hold him up. He's got his shirt on, and they're cheering in the middle of the pitch. That's
fucking cool. How did he get out of the country?
He didn't get out of the country.
It was in Leicester.
No, they had it. They had him on the phone.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, hey, they show it. So that was cool. I mean, he's a Czech player. He had played there. These things about soccer that are super fucking cool are moments like that. That would be the equivalent of, let's say, the Trenton Thunder won a game against like against the Mets, and former Yankees who are now on the Yankees just started cheering with their old teammates.
Yeah.
Minors with. I mean, it's just it's fucking cool.
So and it is, and it's a good moment for them, and it's fantastic. Let's be very clear: no Harvey Barnes, no James Madison.
Well, Madison's hurt. That's bad.
Sure, but I mean, would he have played? Harvey Barnes came on and got a yellow, but
Thanks, buddy.
yeah.
Did
but
Vardy
no,
play?
Fuchs,
The key linchpin is Vardy.
Vardy did play, but Tielemans played. Albrighton played, but let's be clear, right? Like,
is Ndidi
he's
in
fine.
there?
He is.
Oh, so they lost with Ndidi. That means they're trying to win. So that was bad.
But like you said, the Barrage is probably he's not gonna lose sleep over this one, right? Like they sit second in the table.
And then I want to try and break down this joke. Is Spurs Bizarro attacking beat Burger Wolves with their Bizarro version of Spurs that attacks that I don't know which. It's like this fun version of Spurs in the Europa League that scores goals.
Here's what's happening here. Okay. It's very simple. Jose Mourinho does not believe he has the horses to play in any style to functionally attack the rest of the table in the top four. Whatever happened in that West Ham game, it was like the aliens from Space Jam showed up and they stole everybody on the defensive line for Spurs, stole their superpowers, and now they basically are like Charles Barkley being wheeled around completely helplessly, right? Eric Dyer, Dave Sanchez doing a face plant, which by the way, we never really talked about. But
I did.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. He's not playing Dele Alli. He refuses to play him. He can't get 90 minutes out of Gareth Bale all season long. But he can in Europa League because they're just throwaway games in the group stage.
Yeah, but if he lost, he would lose his mind.
Yeah. But he's not going to, right? They were playing Wolfsburger. Who gives a shit?
Not
right?
Wolfsburg, which is a name brand team.
I put Wolfsburger. That's right. He's playing the Wahlburgers. Okay. Yeah. So he's not worried about it. He's going to let them do their thing. Dele Alli scores an incredible bike kick from behind, over the head. Phenomenal. Every idiot Spurs fan on Twitter, Dele Alli's back, Dele Alli's back, Dele Alli's back. I've fallen for this. Okay. It's nothing against Dele. He is my favorite player on the team. I love Dele Alli. He's not going to get to play on Sunday. He didn't get to play last week after a phenomenal performance in the first leg.
Although the thing is with Burnley, right? Burnley is a game where they do need to put extra defense. I mean, extra attacking.
Yeah, right? Well, lock pickers, right?
Yeah.
Lamela has been fine in that role, but I mean, you're going to want Ali. You're going to want, Ndombele, Reguilon.
And you're going to need all of them to get.
But so the thing that you have to understand about how Jose is attacking Europa League, two important things. All his bullshit legacy is trophies everywhere I go.
Well, without it, he has nothing.
Correct.
Because it's not how he plays.
But we have, as I alluded to before, this is the NIT. This is a nothing burger of a trophy. There are two major things about the Europa League and why the significance of the competition matters. One,
Champions League.
You obviously get a bid into Champions League automatically in pot one. So it's actually a better spot than where Leicester City might end up. So I understand. And financially what that means to the club. And two, more importantly, it's a trophy you can drink out of. Other than that, there's no fucking reason to even pay attention to these games. It's bullshit. If you're a team who has Premier League title aspirations at the beginning of the year, it's later. Fucking bullshit.
It counts, man. It counts. It has history.
But fine. But so here's the thing.
It counts.
Yes, sure. But so here's what he's going to go after this with everything he's got. He's going to play Bale. He's going to play that attacking four that everybody keeps screaming about. Son, Kane, Bale with Dele and Ndombele behind him.
Please.
That's a pretty good fucking lineup.
Please.
You're going to have Højbjerg in the pivot. You're going to have Reggie and Aurier on the wings. And please, God willing, Toby Alderweireld is one of the center backs.
Please do. So bizarre. We'll see how that goes. Let's go into the fixtures. We talked about it a little bit. City plays West Ham. This is a big game. It's at City. I have bad memories of Winston Reed and a 1-1 draw while I was driving to LA. Some of the games are 5 years ago, so I'm not really sure when I hate these games. But usually when City play West Ham, especially at West Ham, they stomp them. But earlier this year, it was a draw. That's when City didn't know how to do offense. Who knows who's going to play in this game? We know what West Ham are going to do. They're going to play tight they're going to hit City on the break, and they're just going to hope for scraps. And they're good, but City should win this game. They've won 20,000 in a row. They might as well win another one.
So wait, let me give you the best game of the weekend and the worst game of the weekend. For the neutral, if you are listening to this, first of all, why? Second, you need to know these two things coming in. Avoid this game and watch this game. Avoid Tottenham and Burnley. You'll want to peel your eyes out with a fucking spoon.
It's terrible.
Do not do it. I'm gonna make myself do it. That's why you listen to this.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of good games. A lot of red versus blue. Ooh, quality.
There's a lot of red blue. Leeds, Aston Villa is the best game. That is gonna be a fucking barn burner. Sit down, crack a beer,
boy.
enjoy that.
I mean, Grealish they have history. There's afters from the championship. They got a little beef with each other. It was like a battle there to go up. Leeds coming off a Tuesday game where they lit up Southampton 3-0. They were good again. The middle class Mourinho, the middle class superhero of Patrick Bamford, and who talks like this. He's just not a football player. When you hear him talk, you want it to be a Southern accent. You want it to be a working class accent, and out comes a professor. It's very strange if you're watching English football for a long time for a player to have a posh accent, and he does. It would be if you watched baseball and the guy had an English accent, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? For English people, that means something. But Villa, without Grealish, I'm concerned, but it should be fun. I'll save my rants for last. Liverpool get Sheffield when they need them. But again, Sheffield still haven't really been blown out. I keep talking about them, but they're really on the downturn. They're in trouble. Chelsea, Man United, we covered. This is a real top four battle. Tuchel gets his test because he had a bunch of easy games after Frank was fired, but now he's got, like you said last week, Atleti, United, City. The hammer starts to fall down.
Right.
And I think he's got them playing good defense. The question I have is whether they can score and find fluidity. Leicester v. Arsenal. Will Arsenal get their 12th loss of the season? Leicester have a really hard time at home winning games because they play more of a counterattack. They have no Maddison. Vardy's there.
I was gonna say, is Maddison out for that game?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Vardy lights up Arsenal. So
he does. It's a lot of fun. I love watching that guy.
So yeah, he's the king of rats. He's the best.
No, specifically against Arsenal though, because like it's like an old Groundhog Day sort of like cartoon in the newspaper. They're like, God damn it, again, this fucking guy.
Yeah,
really?
They tried to buy him and it didn't work.
Yeah. Like you really? I told you, watch that dude. It's terrific.
Newcastle Wolves. We're all rooting for Newcastle to lose and lose often. I can't wait for Bruce to die.
Come on, you Wolves.
Fulham, Crystal Palace. This is getting 6-pointer range. Crystal Palace. Did we discuss this game? The 2-1 smash and grab with Benteke?
No.
We did. So I talked
did.
about Brighton, but I still have to go back to it because it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
It's tough stuff.
So Fulham have been playing well, but West Brom play Brighton. This all of a sudden is an important game. If Brighton do this again where they shoot, by the way, I found this out today. Brighton in the top 5 leagues have the most shots with the least shots on target. They have the worst on target rate.
Is that so? Is there like a heat map that we can be like, are they just launching missiles from 40 yards?
No, they just suck.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of, my guess is this. They have a way they want to play. They found players who could do it, but it's like the islet of misfit toys. Like, these guys can play. They have good touches. They're quick. They're fast. Oh, do they score goals?
Not really.
Shoot a lot. No. The on target part is the problem for them. So they basically are exemplified by like Danny Welbeck,
right?
Who's a guy who works hard, runs hard, can't score. So they literally have the worst rate of shots to shots on target with the most shots. They're an incredible team.
You're gonna make
and if you watch them, you're just like, what is happening? Down. So we're now in almost week 30, and they still have a positive XG goal difference, and they're in the bottom 4.
5, right? So they're. But here's the thing:
if they win this game, 4 points ahead of Fulham,
right? But this is the pivotal game where you go, okay, this is the 3-point breather. You go, all right.
Are you ready for the stat?
We're not going down.
Are you ready for the stat against Crystal Palace? Their rival.
Yeah.
In 2 games, Brighton have taken 45 shots.
Okay, 22 on average.
Crystal Palace have taken 5, and Crystal Palace have taken 4 points.
4, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'm just like torturing myself with like a shit version of City.
Oh, a supremely shit version of City. But I said this last time that you are not happy unless you're sad. You'll find it.
So I was listening to my podcast. I listened. Shout out to the Totally Football Show, and they were like, I can never figure out what Brighton's doing. It's either a bunch of defense. They play all defensemen and all midfielders, and they don't tell you where they're going to go. So Ben White will be in the midfield.
Yeah.
Some midfielder will be a striker. Somebody will be on the wing. You don't know what's going to happen. All you know is they're going to get lots of shots and not score. And it's now week 30. And I don't know what to do about them, but I will be watching that game and yelling and getting mad. I'll be the only, I guarantee you that there are games that are played in the United States on the fucking Peacock Premium, whatever, that I might be the only person who watches them in the United States. Like, because how many West Brom, this is also the longest team name game, West Bromwich Albion versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Yeah. So that's a lot of letters. Put that on your back.
See, I thought it was Brighton, Hove, and Albion.
No, it's
Brighton and Hove Albion. You're right.
Albion.
But the ampersand is in the wrong place. I think that they fucked that up. Anyway.
No, it's two cities. It's Brighton and Hove. They're next to each other.
Yeah. But like comma.
Brighton. No, it's not a comma. And.
I know. It should be Brighton, Hove, and Albion.
No, Albion is the name of England.
You know
Albion is the team name. That's why it's West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, I know.
There is a debate whether it's Bromwich or Bromwich.
Well, in England, it's Bromwich.
I have no idea.
It's said Brom. Like, that's how,
I think they just drop it. Maybe it's Bronwich, wherever the fuck that place. These places are weird. They sound like sandwiches. I want to eat them.
Here's the thing.
They're probably all awful.
I think this is why they lost a war to farmers, because they were so worried about how to say West Bromwich that they were like, oh shit, they attacked on Christmas. We didn't see it coming.
They didn't lose. England has never lost.
Oh, they took a big time L on that one.
Which one?
They lost the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but they were on the road.
That's okay. They were losing to farmers. That's literally like Spurs losing to Rangers in the fucking Europa.
I did listen to a whole podcast about that. And it's pretty, they really fucked up. They didn't care. They were just like, what's going on?
It was, what they were? They were Leicester versus Slava Prague.
Yes. They were like, come on, man. Can we leave? I don't care about this place. They just didn't have vision. They were like, those mountains, no one's going over those mountains. What's over there anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. Now they've got a country the size of New York State.
They fucked up. Well, they did have India at the time. So they were probably like, we got this whole India.
Yeah, they had diversified well enough.
Yeah, they're fine. Anyway, Mike, that is that. I think I'm supposed to have a closing way to do this, and I have to figure that out. It usually takes me a minute to wind into it as I think while I'm talking to you.
Well, Mike is calcified and Laurent is sad, and this is the Squeaky Bum Time podcast. We record on Mondays and Thursdays, talking God knows what about who knows what. And we will be back. We will talk about Manchester City beating West Ham and cementing their place at the top of the table. We'll be talking about how Chelsea probably hired the wrong guy after losing 7-0 to Manchester United, and all the other goodness and crazy shit that's going on this weekend. Watch the games, download everything you can from us on iTunes and Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts, and leave us a review in the comments and give us 5 stars, and we will talk to you in the next show.